What's going on, guys? Welcome to the YouTube channel. We are going to be going through a Q&A today, which I did on Instagram. So had a lot of people ask a lot of questions, which was great. Out of all the questions, I just picked 10, okay? And I've got them written down on this piece of paper, like so. And I will be answering the questions like so, okay? So let's jump straight into it. So any tips for ankle flexibility? Ankle flexibility, in my opinion, dorsiflexion is obviously the most important thing in Olympic weightlifting, okay? So your ankle's here, flexing in that position like so, okay? To improve dorsiflexion, I mean, you can do a lot of barefoot work. You can obviously do lots of like goblet squats. You can do things like that. If you do have really poor ankle flexibility or, like you asked, dorsiflexion, I would highly recommend wearing an orthotic or a heel insole. That just helps elevate your heel slightly like so, as opposed to being so flat-footed. Usually if you're really flat-footed, like say you're doing snatches or cleans in normal joggers, usually you'll tilt forward. A weightlifting shoe typically will be a bit higher in the L, in the heel, so a bit more elevated, which will make it a bit easier to get into the correct positions. But with orthotics or a heel insert, you get even more degrees of flexion. So it's very, very useful doing that. There's another thing I like to tell people. Sometimes you can go to your local cobbler and just ask them to fix your shoe and add like a piece of like a wooden block on the end of your shoe. That adds a little bit more height to the heel, which can help with the flexibility. But usually ankle flexibility is at the root, which is just your general dorsiflexion in your ankles, which you can improve by doing barefoot work, goblet, stuff like that. So yeah. All right. Second question. Would you start your own weightlifting federation? That's a good question. I'm very passionate about weightlifting, and obviously being a part of the Australian weightlifting scene for a long time now, I have obviously seen some cracks and some flaws in the whole, product. And I do believe there could be better ways of, portraying weightlifting. And if I had the resource and I had the income and I had the financial backing, I would 100% start my own federation. I would do non-tested. I would have no press outs. I would have you able to use straps. I'd just make it a cool, fun, enticing event to bring people into the sport, okay? I think that'd just be so good, So yeah, I would 100% start my own federation. Obviously, I'd need a lot of financial backing to do that. But, maybe down the line, who knows? Right now, it's not really something I'm thinking about with my business and all that. But, I can definitely see some things that I'd like to do in my own federation. Like I said, wearing straps, doing, like I said, straps, no drug testing, press outs allowed, all that kind of stuff. It'd just be cool. I think have my own federation. I could do so many cool things with that. I think it'd be sick. Cool. Next question. How much will your knee surgery cost you? I don't actually need to get surgery, guys. I saw my sports doctor actually last week, and we went over the MRI results. So we looked. I'd got an MRI done before my last Olympic qualifier, which was in Phuket, which was in April. My knee was pretty bad then. I then got an MRI last week just to determine if it had gotten any worse. Basically, the game plan was if it gets any worse, we're going to get surgery. If it isn't worse, then we're not going to do that. And thankfully for me, it hasn't gone worse, which is great. So basically the prescription now is just rest. We're not doing any more cortisone. So yeah, I don't actually need to get surgery. So I'm very grateful for that. Now, if I did have to pay for it, it would probably be, I would say, anywhere upwards from $10,000. So that's just, the cost of surgery. Depending on, if I could get in publicly or privately, it would just depend the needs, etc. So yeah, probably upwards of $10,000. Fourth question, how to improve recovery naturally? Great question. So the most important thing for recovery as an athlete who's competing tested would be sleep. It's an absolute no-brainer. Everyone hears it all the time and just goes, it's so generic, but it's so important. Sleeping is the most important thing as a natural athlete. If you can get 8 to 9 hours, 9 hours is ideal of sleep every single night, you are going to make sure you recover effectively, which you're going to make sure you're going to have better training sessions, okay, more productive sessions overall. So sleep is the most important thing. I think the next important factor would be making sure your nutrition is down pat, eating clean foods, whole foods, foods that digest really well so you have good productive training sessions, trying to avoid minimally processed foods, so not eating foods that, don't come from the ground, for example. I'm very big on that. Just eating foods that naturally make you feel better. I think the next thing for recovery would probably be, like I said, sleep, nutrition, I think would be, mobility and flexibility work daily, making sure you're staying on top of those kind of things. Massage weekly helps as well. Supplementation. So a lot of supplements out there are quite bogus. Like the only real good quality supplements, in my opinion, for a natural athlete would be creatine, 5 grams before training to help with recovery in between sets because of the ATP usage. I would also recommend just a ZMA supplement before you go to bed, so zinc, magnesium, and B6. That's very beneficial. B12, sorry. That's very beneficial to have before you go to bed, just to help you sleep like that. You can just buy the product separately, or you can buy a ZMA formula. Yeah, that's pretty much it for supplements. You could take a B complex and vitamin D3, stuff like that. It's not really going to make a huge difference. But yeah, I would recommend, obviously, sleep is the main thing. Nutrition is another thing. Prioritizing recovery, like I said, massages, ice baths, doing your mobility and flexibility work daily. And then obviously natural supplementation, creatine, all that other stuff that I said prior. So yeah, next question. What most important things in weightlifting? It's a very broad question. Most important things in weightlifting. I guess you're referring to like what are some things in weightlifting that I think are important. I think one of the most important factors, and obviously there's many out there, in weightlifting is your mental tenacity, your ability to bounce back from things that happen, right? You have a bad session. How do you deal with that? How do you turn that around to have a better session next week? Or how do you turn that around to get back into the gym tomorrow and have crush your workout? Injuries. How do you bounce back from a bad injury? Do you just quit, or do you try and rehab it, fix it? What determines your weightlifting career will be up here. Mental tenacity is probably the most important thing. My coach Ali has already told me that how mentally tough you are and how much resilience you have is so important in Olympic weightlifting, and a very underrated thing in the sport, to be fair. So yeah, I would say mental tenacity is probably one of the most important things. Yeah, it's quite a broad question, but yeah. Okay, next question. What were your PBs at every age? I love that question. So I didn't start properly Olympic weightlifting. I started when I was around 15, just played around a little bit, but wasn't doing any serious training and stuff. Started properly when I was 16. My record when I was 16 was 85 snatch, or maybe 80. I think it was an 80 snatch and a 110 clean and jerk. I think I missed the jerk. 81-10, we'll say that. That was at 16. 17, I did a little bit more. So 17, I did 100 snatch and a 135 clean and jerk. I was at Nationals 2017. When I was 18, I did a what did I do at 18? 130 snatch, 165 clean and jerk. 19, I did 142.5, I'm going to say, 142.5 snatch and a 175 clean and jerk. 175, 142.5 and 175 was at 19. 20, I did a 155 snatch from the floor, and I did a 195 kilogram clean and jerk. And that was at 20. 21, I did 193 clean and jerk, so pretty much the same, and I snatched 152 as well, so basically the same. 22 was a rough year, cutting down to 81s and competing, so I didn't really make any improvements that year. I did 150 snatch in comp at 85 bodyweight, which is cool. 2023, I did 150, 190. I think it was the most I did that year. A few injuries and setbacks for the Olympics. And 2024, which is this year, the most I've done is 150 snatch and a 187 clean and jerk. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my best weights for my age is 24. Yeah. What it would be like to be young and pain-free again. Okay. How does it feel to be an Olympian? Doesn't really feel any different. It's the same as before. It's just a personal goal that I wanted to achieve for myself. Not even for my business, just for me. I didn't have any other reason to do it other than for me. So I don't feel any different. It's cool to say, Olympian. It's cool to say. I think the best thing about saying I'm an Olympian is people actually taking me seriously, and not saying people wouldn't beforehand, but I can actually say to people, yeah, I'm an Olympian, so I know what I'm talking about, and I don't have to say it in a smart ass kind of way, but just kind of be like, you know what, I understand weightlifting. I've been to the highest level of the sport, which I have. I wasn't, like I said, the Olympics was one session. It wasn't even an A, B, or C. It was literally the highest level you could achieve, the pinnacle of the sport. I've been with the best in the world. I've done that. So really for me, it's just, experience and practicing what I preach. So that's kind of the best part of it. And just relaying my experiences to my athletes, telling them I've been through it. I've had injuries. I know what it's like. I understand what you're going through. So yeah, that's, I guess being Olympian, nothing really changes, it's just a personal thing. How many training sessions did you do per week when you were at your strongest? Okay, so based on what I answered the question before about the ages of my strength and stuff, so from 19, 20, 21 like that, so those sort of 2, 3 years like that, I was training about 10 times per week. So I was doing Monday double, Tuesday double, and Monday double, Wednesday double, and Friday double, and then just singles on the other days. So single Tuesday, single Thursday, and single Saturday. So I was doing about 9 sessions a week. Sometimes I'd do a session on Sunday as well. When I was really young, like 17, and I first met my coach Ali, and obviously we had a lot of ground to make up, I was doing 11 sessions a week. And I wouldn't say I was at my strongest, but I would do double sessions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Whilst I was at school. So I'd go to the school gym early in the morning, 6 a.m., do squats and pulls and bodybuilding stuff. And I'd do that every day for about a year straight. So I'd do about, 10, 11 sessions when I was 17. But when I was at my strongest, 19, 20, 21 years old, like that, pre-injuries, etc., I was doing, about 9 sessions a week. So doubles Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah. Okay. What are the politics like in Australian weightlifting? What's the political situation in Australia weightlifting? Look, I don't really like to talk too much about politics stuff. I'm actually launching a podcast real soon that I'm going to be uploading to Spotify, and I'll talk more about those things in depth. Probably won't do too much on my YouTube. I'll actually have a dedicated platform for that, which will be my Uplift pod, which is going to be launching in about a month or so. I'll talk more about that on specific episodes and that. But I guess briefly, politics, they're a part of any sport, not just Olympic weightlifting. They're a part of any sport, especially small fringe sports like weightlifting, wrestling, weightlifting, judo, all those smaller type sports. There's little people at the top that run the sport, and they have a lot of say, and there's not much you can really do about that. I guess how politics kind of work in weightlifting is sort of just who you know, right? I've never really had political advances in my career. I've never really had anyone sort of help me out politically. It's always just been on my own accords. So I haven't really experienced that, but I have definitely been on the short end of the straw of politics and, had situations where it wasn't favorable. And again, discussions for the future for the Uplift pod. But yeah, politics, it's just, of course, there's politics in Australian weightlifting. I guess the way politics works is who you know. These people get the votes because they got this state behind them, or, this person runs the sport because they have the backings of all these other states, etc. They keep getting their spots and stuff like that. But again, honestly, politics shouldn't really affect any athlete. Even talking about myself, getting to the highest level of the sport, yes, I have had my fair run-ins with political issues in weightlifting, but I wouldn't say it's stopped me from achieving what I want to achieve. It's more just been a little bit of a hole in the road. Like, example, 2021, my coach got banned for absolutely no reason. He just got banned from the state. They didn't give a reason. It was crap, but there was really nothing I could do about it. So, he's not banned anymore, but, and that was just politics. One person on the New South Wales board didn't like my coach, and for whatever reason, he thought it was acceptable to say, no, I'm just gonna ban him. So that's a situation of where politics are. And what did I do? I did nothing. My girlfriend instead did something and had a really, really crap situation. She got in a lot of trouble, and she ended up getting banned for about 9 months, which is absolutely terrible. Ended up getting lawyers involved, and it was just a big, absolute, I don't know if I can swear on YouTube, but it was a big fuck around. So in that instance, politics is not favorable. But anyways, again, Uplift pod, future episodes, talks to come. Okay, last question. So 10 questions, last question, guys. How much can you bench? I can bench 145 kilograms. Now, I did that when I was 21. I was just stuffing around. Actually, when I was 20, I did a super total comp back in 2020. And I did a 145 bench. So yeah, that's my best bench press. I haven't really done it for a long time. Don't plan on doing it anytime soon. So yeah, don't have any inspirations on that. But anyways, guys, quick little video, 14 minutes, things like that. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for listening. I'm not really gonna put anything else up here other than just Q&A. So, if you guys are chilling out on your morning, you want to listen to my YouTube video, chuck your headphones in, have a listen to Q&A, go for it, My YouTube is just a platform for me to get content out there, just kind of like how I like to do it, Don't need to be super, super fancy with it, just answering questions and getting out there. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.